G'day, it's Heath here from pickinglessons.com. Doesn't the banjo and the guitar sound pretty played together like that? We're going to take a look at the melody here for the First Noel, but we're going to play it in harmony. We're going to use major and minor sixth intervals to harmonize against the melody. In a moment, we're going to take a look at the scale that we're using. So the scale that we're using will set us up for the melody we're playing. It's right inside there. Once you know the scale, the melody's easy. We'll have a look at that scale here, but if you head to pickinglessons.com, you're able to get yourself a copy of the chart that has the melody, the scale, and all the harmony in there. You'll also find some play along backing tracks in the next part of this lesson where we do break down the tune, so pickinglessons.com. So we're going to start out by looking at this major scale, because basically once you have that under your fingers and can see and hear how that sounds, a melody like this one is rather easy to play. It sounds great, but once you know the harmony, it's very easy to play. So we're in the key of D, just leave the banjo in standard G tuning, that's okay. And basically we're in one octave of the D scale, but we're going to harmonize against it with a sixth interval. I'll explain that in a second. It's going to sound like this. So it's a really pretty way of harmonizing against the melody. And so if we're looking at those notes we're holding there, we've got the D on top, but we've got an F sharp down below. And so the interval between an F sharp and D is a minor sixth. We also have this interval here, up next is a major sixth. So we have a minor sixth, a major sixth, there's another one. We're going to shift that here though. Into a minor sixth, into a minor six, major six, major six, minor six. Our top note is the main melody note. Then underneath that, harmonizing. Another way of looking at six, interestingly enough, is it's an inverted third. So a major and a minor six. So a minor six is like an inverted major third, D to F sharp. An inverted major six is like a minor third backwards. So the E and the G, it's a minor third backwards. It's an interesting way of looking at it. But we are playing in sixth. So let's just run that scale once more nice and slow, so make sure you get those notes. Practice it ascending, practice it descending. This will really set you up for the melody. Once you know this, the melody's really easy. I'd even challenge you to try and work the melody out yourself once you know the scale. But of course, the tablature is at pickinglessons.com. So just keep an eye on your fingers there, minimal finger movement. You're going to hopefully have a common finger as you shift majority of the time, like that first interval there. Second finger shifts across. So there's our first minor sixth into this major sixth there. Remembering that the top note is what would be our melody. When we shift strings, that's our major six. Here's the minor six. Repeating that one. Into two more major sixths. Finish up there on the octave. So have a look at that, practice it backwards, get really familiar with the positions so you can play them up and down. It's great. Sounds really, really cool. You can use this in lots of different situations. So it works really prettily with this arrangement. Harmonizing the sixth, it's a really effective way of giving some depth to the melody. Okay, now if you head to pickinglessons.com, we will break down the melody of the tune, but like I mentioned, now that you know that scale and harmonized in sixths like we have, you could try and work out the melody. It's a nice melody that I'm sure you're really familiar with. You could try and work it out with that scale we just learned. Give it a go. But head over to pickinglessons.com. You'll be able to get into the next lesson. You'll be able to get yourself a copy of the tablature as well. I'll see you there.